Well, hello loves, how are you today? Me, fabulous. Today we are going to talk about correctors and concealers on mature skin. So if that is something that interests you, stick around. We're going to talk about it. Okay friends, you know that if you've been around long enough, I just don't like concealer under my eyes. But as I told you guys a while ago, I purchased a book that's the Bobbi Brown makeup manual, and I thought, you know what the heck? Let's see what Bobbi Brown says about concealer and corrector, and let's try it on mature skin. So today I'm gonna do one eye with no color corrector and no concealer, and I'm gonna do the other eye with e.l.f. concealer and an under eye brightener. It's a corrector also. So that's what we're going to do today. And we're going to see if we can make this work according to the professionals. Okay? So, welcome to Sophisticated Country, where we talk about makeup for mature skin and all of those amazing things that happen to us as we age. My name's Clara. Welcome to the channel. I'm glad you guys are here hanging out with me. So yeah, let's just get started. I have already prepped my face with my hyaluronic acid serum. I've also done a toner from Fabu that I am falling in love with. I use it every day too, and it's leaving my skin very, very nice. It's got niacinamide in it. And of course, my light daily moisturizer from Good Molecules. I have done all of that already. So the next step is just to put our makeup on. And today I am going to use Clean Invisible by CoverGirl. I honestly don't know what color this is or what. Oh yes, there it is. My goodness. Oh look, I have my trusty glasses today, so we can try and read it. This is 107 Light Beige. All right, so that's what we're going to use today. And you guys are going to have to forgive me because I am going to have to look at the manual because I do not use concealer or corrector, and we're going to go by the book on this one. So it says that we need to apply our makeup as usual, but we are not going to go underneath of the eyes because that's where our product is going to go. So, or that's where our concealer and our corrector are gonna go. So, one eye I am gonna do like I would normally do my makeup, and the other eye I'm gonna do it like the book says, which this eye is gonna be the eye that I do my way, and this eye is gonna be the eye that we do the book way, or the Bobbi Brown way. So, we're just gonna apply our foundation. And I'm just doing it in a patting motion. And this one I'm taking it all the way up because this is the way that I normally do my makeup without the concealer. And this book seems to be pretty helpful in certain things, so that's pretty cool. I'm just kind of reading through it and getting as many of those tips and tricks as I can to help with my mature makeup application. And then this side, we're only going to take it right up to underneath of the eye. So we aren't going to put anything around the eye on this side. So I just started using this Clean Invisible CoverGirl foundation, and I am liking it a lot. It's very light. It's not heavy, and especially for summertime, I really do like a lighter coverage. Simply because going out into the sun or where it's warm, you know, I don't like that melty feeling. And I don't want my face to be, you know, like running off of me. So I like a lighter coverage, and this gives me that. I like it a lot. So how have you all been? lately. I know it's been a whole minute since I've seen you guys or talked to you guys. Now I'm going to talk about our manual here, and this again is Bobbi Brown makeup manual, and it states in the book that if you have dark circles, which you know I do here, the corrector, you want to correct it, which you want to brighten it before you do anything else. So I'm just going to read this really quick. It says this. It says to, number 1, determine whether corrector is needed to counteract deep purple or green coloration, which I have that kind of purpley color under here. So number 2, it says apply corrector using a small concealer brush and starting at the inner eye, which I have right here. And it says apply corrector to all areas of darkness. And then number 4, it says gently press the corrector into the skin with your fingers. So that's what we're going to do now. Here is my corrector, and I am just going to go in to the very corner of my eye because I don't want, I don't think I need it anywhere else. The discoloration is right there in the corner. And I'm just going to pat it off a little bit on my hand here because I don't want too much product. And we're going to start. And it also says to make sure that you get right into that corner of your eye. And then it says to take your fingertip and pat it in. Well, there might be something to say for that. Maybe the book knows what it's talking about. But we're going to wait until the end to see if it actually does what I need it to do, because you know me and you know that I do not like the cakiness and the heaviness and the settling in the fine lines that happen with more product under my eyes. So we're gonna let that sit for just a minute. So this is one of the things that I think might change the game for me also with corrector and concealer. I have a minimal amount of time to get ready for work in the morning, so I like it needs to be as quick as possible. So looking through some of these tips and tricks in this book, time is one of those things where you need to allow your makeup to actually set and settle and kind of blend with your skin. And a lot of times during the morning time, I don't have that option because I have to hurry up and get ready to go. So now that I am on summer break, which is, I just am so excited about that. I have the extra time to take the few minutes more that is needed in order for my makeup to kind of meld with my skin. So I'm hoping that maybe that might be one of the things that help in the application process of the concealer and the corrector. So I can tell you right now that yes, I can see where the corrector is doing a pretty good job, and it doesn't, it isn't like sitting on top of my skin. It's kind of blending there a little bit, so it doesn't look like there's a lot of makeup on there, which is wonderful. So the next step for us would be the concealer. Now this is where I don't want to get ahead of myself, because we do the same thing and it needs to be like 2 shades lighter than your foundation, which I believe that this is. So I'm going to actually do the same thing with the concealer that I did with the color corrector, and I'm going to apply it to my hand. I'm gonna let it warm up there so that it gets a little more pliable and a little more easy to use. And I'm going to clean the corrector off of my brush, and I'm actually going to use the same brush that I used for the corrector. So I'm only going to use a small amount like I did with the color corrector. And we're gonna go right into the corner just where that darkness is at. And we're gonna see if we can make this work. And it says to kind of follow where the hollowness is of your eye, which I am doing. And I'm gonna go right across the top of here because the top of my eye has a little bit of discoloration too. So we're gonna see how this works out. I'll let that sit for just a second. And it says to do the same thing with the concealer, which would be to use your fingertip to pat it into the skin instead of using a brush or an applicator. You want to use your fingertip, and that helps with pushing it into the skin instead of it sitting on top of, and it kind of melts into your skin. Okay, and I do believe that we might want to go down our nose just a bit so that it kind of blends all together there. Okay, so I'm really anxious to see what this is going to look like on camera because there's definitely a difference here, but I'm not sure if I like it. And I guess that's not the purpose of this video. The purpose of this video is to see if it actually works without leaving a cakey heaviness on mature skin. So we're going to let that meld together just a bit. Okay, love, so I have let that set for a couple of minutes, and it says to tap it once more to really get it settled in there. And then it says to take your setting powder and set the concealer, which is what we're gonna do. So I have my setting brush. I'm gonna tap it off and we're gonna set that concealer. And I'm actually gonna set both of my eyes. And what I'm really wanting to know too is, do I really need the extra steps? So is my way just as good, or do we actually need the concealer and the color corrector? And I'm thinking that it's probably going to be determined by what I'm doing for that day. Like if I'm going out for the evening as to whether or not, you know, I need the extra coverage. Okay, so now that's set. Okay, so now I'm gonna go in and I'm gonna do my regular, all of my regular goodies. We're gonna do our contour. Trying to get rid of those damn gels. Oh, they drive me so crazy. And I have a story for you guys. Oh my goodness, oh my goodness. The last video that I made, this is like a nightmare of mine. It truly is. Since I started doing YouTube, this is a literal nightmare of mine. I was doing my video, minding my business. It was really hot that day, so I opted to forego the pants that day. Now, mind you, I did have my underwear on. I didn't go commando. I did have my underwear on, but I decided that it was just too hot, so I had a very sheer top on that was, and I was just trying to stay cool. I was just trying to stay cool. And it had a slit all the way up the side, right? So I decided that in the middle of my video, I was gonna get up and I was going to turn on the fan, which I got up to turn on the fan, thinking to myself, literally, I can edit this out. That's not an issue. So I turned on the fan, I came back, I started to finish my video, and all was finished. I got done with everything. Everything was cool, right? I started to edit my video. I edited my video, and I had it in my editing software. And I don't know what happened. The only thing that I can tell you that was going on was my CRS, which is, can't remember shit, menopause. That beautiful, beautiful menopause. My CRS kicked in. Can't remember shit. So I went to upload the video. And I uploaded the video. Or so I thought. The video that I uploaded was not the edited version. It was the version where I looked like Neanderthal with no pants on in front of my camera, going to turn on the fan. And when I went to, I always go back and I always play my videos back after I'm done, right? I just always do, just to make sure that everything's cool. And thank you, baby Jesus, I did that because it was horrific. When I tell you I could not get that video down fast enough, and you guys should be thanking me that you did not see that catastrophe happen. But when I tell you, I have never done anything so fast in my life as me taking that video down. Yeah. And then the more I thought about it, it was like, wow, I just forgot about the entire second half of that whole process, and I just uploaded the first video that I had. So if you were one of the 5 that saw that, I apologize. That was not my intention. But yeah, that was a nightmare of mine. For real deal. Like, I can't even begin to tell you the horror that I felt in that moment. But thank you, Jesus. It worked out the way that it should, and no one is going to see my behind where it's not supposed to be. And yeah, crisis averted. But never a dull moment, right? Never a dull moment. I don't know how people do OnlyFans, dude. I don't know how people do OnlyFans. Because the horror of me seeing myself in that video was just like, wow, is that really what it looks like? So I would never be able to do OnlyFans, ever, ever. Got a lesson learned. I will never, ever do that again. Ever do that again. In with my Maybelline brow gel. So now that all that's settled in, I'm gonna take my bronzer and we're gonna add some color to my face. And for summertime, I really don't like to use a lot of blush. So I end up using my contour and my bronzer to give my face the color back and to just kind of give my cheeks that color. And I'm gonna go over my brow bone with the bronzer. And give myself some color back there too. And just down my nose. So for summertime, I really like to use my bronzer for my shadow. And I just take my blender brush and I go through and just use my bronzer as my shadow. Kind of disguise those hoods a bit. Okay. And I take my pencil brush and I'm just gonna go in with my Sephora Mega Mix palette with that really dark brown shade. And I'm just going to line the corners. And I just go right along my lash line with it to give me some definition. And just into that lash line, into the corner. And then just come down in the corner on the bottom lash line, just a bit. So I'm thinking I might be able to see a slight difference in the two sides. I don't know, we'll have to kind of wait and see until it's all done as to whether or not it's something that I'll be doing all the time. Okay. And the usual Mega Liner and Colossal Lash. My faves. Just gonna line the lash line with the Mega Liner. And I want to get as close to the lash line as possible. Okay, loves, finished product. Yes, I do believe that there is a noticeable difference. Not so much that it's like crazy, but I can notice a little bit of a difference. This is the side with nothing, just foundation, and this is the side with corrector and concealer. So between the two sides, in my opinion, I do notice a slight difference. This side is much brighter. Kind of makes my eye pop a little bit more. Not so much that this is like it's so noticeably different, but I can see the shadowing on this side more. And I don't know, I like the look of the concealer and the corrector. It doesn't look cakey. It doesn't look like there's a lot of product on there. I think that the idea of letting it settle and letting it warm up and letting it kind of combine with your skin changes the dynamic of things a lot. Also in this book, Bobbi Brown says that if you don't powder enough, that your concealer will cake. And I have always been of the thought process, and in my own experience, I have found that more powder leads to more creasing and more accentuating fine lines. That's in my my experience. So, but I will tell you that I do like the corrector and I do like the concealer look. It is much brighter. It is cleaner, I guess, crisper. My makeup looks a lot more It gives my makeup a little more of a pop, a little more of a crispness, I guess is the word I'm looking for. But I do like it. I like both. Will I do this all the time? I don't think so. If I have an event or if I'm going out for the evening or something like that where I really want to look extra, I think that I will do the corrector and the concealer. But I do like my way too. My way is much simpler, much easier. And like I said, I do believe that time plays a huge role. Normally in the morning, I do not have time to do, I don't have time to wait for the corrector and the concealer to kind of blend and settle into my skin. But today, with the extra time, I do believe that that helps immensely. So I do think time plays a huge role. I don't know, guys, tell me what you think. I like it. I like it both ways, to be perfectly honest with you, and I never thought that I would say that about corrector and concealer. Anyway, let me know in the comments, guys, what you think. Let me know also, do you think that time plays a role in how makeup is applied to skin? There is something to say, in my opinion, there is something to say about time. So anyway, guys, I do appreciate you hanging out with me. And as always, please remember just how blessed you are and not how stressed you are. I know that that is easier said than done, but we should do it. It's so much better to look at the haves and not the have-nots. So just my opinion. But I do hope that you all have a blessed day, and thank you so much for hanging out with me. And until the next one, guys, bye.